Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I want to invite you to do something very simple. Take a breath. Not the kind of breath you take out of habit, but a real one. The kind that reminds you that you are here, that you are present, that you are alive. Because too often, we move through life on autopilot. We respond before we reflect. We agree before we feel. We say yes before we even ask ourselves what we want. And slowly, quietly, our lives fill up. They fill up with obligations, with expectations, with responsibilities that once felt chosen and now feel imposed. We live in a world that celebrates busy people, that praises availability, that confuses exhaustion with importance. If you are always reachable, you are considered reliable. If you are always saying yes, you are considered kind. If you never refuse, you are considered strong. But no one asks a more important question: at what cost? Because behind so many smiles, there is fatigue. Behind so many no problem, there is resentment. Behind so many helpful people, there is a quiet grief for a life that feels out of balance. Some of you in this room are carrying invisible weight. You show up, you support others, you give again and again. And yet deep down, there is a voice you've learned to ignore. A voice that says, this is too much. I need rest. I need space. I need to say no. But when that voice speaks, something else answers louder. Guilt. Guilt for wanting time. Guilt for choosing yourself. Guilt for imagining that your needs matter too. So tonight, we are not here to talk about selfishness. We are not here to talk about rebellion. We are here to talk about permission. Permission to pause. Permission to be honest. Permission to protect what is sacred, your energy, your peace, your life. This talk is not about becoming colder. It is about becoming clearer. It is not about loving less. It is about loving without disappearing. Tonight, we learn something simple, but not easy. How to say no without feeling guilty. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. It's written for a live audience with storytelling, pauses, rhetorical questions, and moments of reflection. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a simple question. How many of you have said yes when every part of you was screaming no? You said yes when you were exhausted. You said yes when you were overwhelmed. You said yes when it cost you your peace, your time, or your self-respect. And then later, you paid the price. We live in a world that rewards availability, compliance, and self-sacrifice. A world that quietly teaches us that being good means being agreeable, that being kind means being accommodating, that being loved means being needed. So we say yes, again and again, until one day, we look in the mirror and realize we've been saying no to ourselves for years. Today, I want to talk about a skill that can change your life, protect your energy, and restore your sense of self. Learning to say no without feeling guilty. The hidden cost of always saying yes. Let's be honest, guilt is powerful. Guilt whispers things like, what if they get upset? What if they think I'm selfish? What if they stop liking me? So we comply, we overextend, we overgive. But here's the truth no one tells you. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you are silently betraying yourself. And self-betrayal doesn't come without consequences. It shows up as burnout, resentment, anxiety, emotional exhaustion, loss of identity. You begin to feel trapped by the very relationships and responsibilities you once chose freely. And the worst part? You start blaming others, when the real problem is that you never gave yourself permission to say no. Why saying no feels so hard. To understand guilt, we must understand where it comes from. Most of us were conditioned early in life. As children, love often felt conditional. We were praised for being obedient, rewarded for being helpful, accepted when we didn't make trouble. So we learned a dangerous lesson. My worth depends on pleasing others. For some of us, culture reinforced this. For others, family expectations did. For many, religion, school, or society as a whole. Over time, no became associated with rejection, conflict, disrespect, disappointment. So we avoid it at all costs. But listen carefully. Avoiding discomfort today creates suffering tomorrow. The truth about boundaries. Here's a powerful reframe. Saying no is not rejection. It is self-respect. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates. They define what you allow and what you don't. They protect what matters most: your time, your energy, your mental health, your purpose. People who don't respect your boundaries are not entitled to unlimited access to you. And people who truly care about you, they may be disappointed, but they will adapt. If someone only values you when you say yes, they don't value you. They value your compliance. Guilt is a feeling, not a command. This is crucial. Guilt is not proof that you are doing something wrong. It is simply evidence that you are doing something new. When you start setting boundaries, guilt will show up. That doesn't mean you should stop. It means you are breaking an old pattern. Think of guilt like muscle soreness after exercise. Uncomfortable, but a sign of growth. You don't stop going to the gym because your muscles ache. You don't abandon your healing because it feels unfamiliar. You stay. You breathe. You keep going. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. Let this sink in. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for your words. You are responsible for your intentions. You are not responsible for how others choose to feel about your boundaries. Disappointment is part of life. Frustration is part of relationships. Discomfort is part of growth. Protecting yourself does not make you cruel. It makes you conscious. How to say no with grace and confidence. Saying no doesn't require aggression. It doesn't require long explanations. And it definitely doesn't require apologies for existing. Here are a few simple principles. 1. Be clear, not cruel. A calm, firm no is kinder than a resentful yes. 2. Stop over-explaining. No is a complete sentence. You don't owe a detailed justification for your boundaries. 3. Replace apologies with honesty. Instead of "I'm sorry I can't," try "I'm not available for that." That doesn't work for me. I need to prioritize something else right now. 4. Expect discomfort and don't panic. Silence, disapproval, pushback. These are normal. They are not emergencies. When people push back, some people will test your boundaries, not because they're evil, but because they're used to you having none. They may say, "You've changed. You're being selfish. You never used to say no." And you can calmly respond, "Yes, I have changed, and I'm proud of that." Growth often makes others uncomfortable. Let them be uncomfortable. Your peace is not negotiable. What happens when you start saying no? Something incredible happens. You regain time, you regain energy, you regain clarity. Your yes becomes meaningful again. Your relationships become healthier. Your resentment fades. Most importantly, you start trusting yourself. Because every no you honor is a message to your inner self. I matter. And that trust, that self-respect, that alignment, it changes everything. A final reflection. Before you say yes next time, pause. Ask yourself, do I genuinely want to do this? Or am I afraid of disappointing someone? What will this cost me emotionally? Am I choosing from love or from guilt? Remember, you can be kind without being compliant. You can be generous without being depleted. You can be loving without losing yourself. Learning to say no is not about pushing people away. It's about finally choosing yourself. And when you do, you teach the world how to treat you. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want to return to something essential. Your life is not an endless resource. Your time is not renewable. Your energy is not infinite. Your emotional capacity has limits, whether you acknowledge them or not. Every yes you give is a piece of your life, and once given, it never comes back. So the question is not, can I do this? The real question is, what will this cost me? Some of you will leave here today and face the same patterns, the same expectations, the same people who are used to your availability, and you will feel the pull to stay the same, to avoid discomfort, to say yes one more time. But something will be different. You will hear yourself more clearly. You will notice the tightness in your chest before you agree, the exhaustion before you commit, the quiet truth before you betray it. And in that moment, you will have a choice, not a dramatic one, not a loud one, a quiet, powerful choice. To speak honestly, to pause instead of pleasing, to respect your limits without explaining your worth. Saying no will not make you unlovable. It will make you authentic. It will not destroy your relationships. It will reveal which ones are real. And yes, sometimes people will be disappointed, but disappointment is a small price to pay for a life lived in alignment. Remember this, you were not born to be endlessly accessible. You were born to be fully alive. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to choose. You are allowed to say no. And every time you do, you send yourself a message more powerful than any apology. I matter. Thank you.